All right, guys, welcome to the Handy Mountain Breakdown Riders meeting. Uh, just to try to prevent us gathering together in a massive group, I figured record a video like this and kind of walk you through some of the key points on the course and talk about the sponsors and eliminate a mass gathering. So um, the course, both of the courses this year are a lot of fun. I think you guys are really going to enjoy them. We'll get into a little bit more detail in a little bit here. Just to kind of give you a real quick rundown of the schedule. Registration is going to be from 9 to 10 on Saturday morning, and then they're going to be kind of split in two lines. Look by your last name, just to kind of give us some distance between the two lines. The start time is like a rolling start time, so you can start whenever you want to with whoever you want to, anytime between 9:30 and 10:30. I'm kind of recommending that if you're doing the long course, start closer to 9:30, and if you're doing the short course, maybe start closer to 10:30. I mean, ultimately it's up to you, but that way it kind of puts you back at the start around the same time or fairly close-ish. Um, we'll have barbecue and bonfire and beer and all kinds of stuff at 1 o'clock, and that's going to kind of go until people leave. We're not going to make it a big party, that kind of thing, just simply because we can't really gather a massive gathering like that, but it'll still be fun. We'll still get to socialize and have a good time. So our sponsors this year, we had quite a few sponsors. We had Cognitive Mountain Bike. They helped design the socks that everybody's going to get a pair of. They also donated a whole bunch of stickers and some other little goodies. Wolf Tooth donated a bunch of clothing items, some hats and things like that. A couple of pint glasses and camp cups. Those will be in the raffle as well. Hammer Nutrition Products is there. We've got some gels and some fizz tablets and Heed at the start finish and at the rest stop. Doug Meese, who's an attorney, he sponsored us. A really good friend of mine. He's donated water bottles for everyone, so everybody will have a water bottle in your bag as well. Incendiary Brewing donated some clothing items and a few beers. P&W Components donated some grips and a pair of socks, and Terravale Tires donated 3 sets of their tires as well. So pretty awesome to have such pretty well-known sponsors for kind of a grassroots type event. Redshift Sports also is on there. They donated a shock stop stem for us as well, which if you don't know much about them, you should check them out. They're really cool. Makes riding gravel a lot more comfortable. So the two charities that are funded by the breakdown is the Northern Stokes Food Pantry and Jessup Mill. Northern Stokes Food Pantry obviously serves the northern part of Stokes County. Big food pantry, and obviously during this pandemic, because the unemployment rate's gone up so substantially, and then there was a really one of the bigger employers in the northern part of Stokes County. They laid off a couple hundred people, and so you think a couple hundred people and their families in the northern part of Stokes County, where there's not a whole lot of people to begin with, that is a huge you know, hit to the the economy in the northern part of Stokes County. So the food pantry, I'm sure, is um, having a lot more families that they're providing for than what they would have normally. So if you feel compelled to donate extra, I'll have a donation box at the registration table. Obviously, if you want to bring like non-perishable food items, that would be amazing too, like canned goods or boxed food, things like that. Every little bit helps, and they're an awesome group. We worked with them last year. They've got some volunteers that will be out at the rest stop, so they'll be there. So make sure you say hey to them, that kind of thing. But they're super nice people, and they do a lot of good for the community. Jessup Mill, same kind of deal. They do a lot of educational opportunities for schools, especially in the area. To kind of show how tight-knit communities used to be, and they used to be based around the mill a lot of times. And there's just a lot of really cool things that they've got. If you get a chance to walk around on the inside of the mill and see some of the historic artifacts they've got in there, and the different tools and signs and all kinds of stuff in there, it's really cool. So take a minute while you're at the start finish and go tool around a little bit. It's really cool to walk around in there. So registration, like I mentioned earlier, will be broken up by last name. We're gonna have two lines, so just kind of look for the signs. It should be pretty clear. And then, try to keep distance from each other. Make sure that you're wearing a facial covering at the start finish area. I'd really like everybody to be doing that. We've got volunteers that are in a high risk category, so please be respectful of them. And even if you wouldn't normally wear a mask for whatever reason, please wear one at the start finish just to make everybody feel more comfortable and keep everybody healthy. In the bag, we've already talked about it. There's water bottles, there's socks for everyone, there's some stickers, there's a gel, and some heat tablets, and I think there might be some coupons in some of them as well for Hammer products. So there's some pretty good goodies in there. Also, when you get to registration, when you sign off on your waiver, the people that are doing the registration stuff will let you know whether you want a prize. My wife and I already did the raffle tonight just to kind of streamline things. And so if they tell you you got a prize, you'll just see me and I'll have the prize for you. Um, so just kind of be listening for that. So the course options, there's a 60 miler, which actually ended up being about 62 miles this year because we had a pretty bad washout on one of the roads, and Virginia Department of Transportation has it shut down. Thankfully, I mean, I was planning on going and marking the course on Friday, and man, I'm glad I went early on Wednesday to go and mark it because I mean, we rode it on Saturday and it was open and it was fine, but I guess with the pretty bad rainstorms we got earlier this week, that the one of the bridges washed out or whatever. So in any case, had to reroute it, so it's now 62 miles. And the short course is still 32 miles. It didn't change at all, but the long course is a little bit different. So if you downloaded a GPS track of it earlier this week, you'll want to make sure that you check that email that I sent yesterday to update that GPS track. Obviously, the courses are marked. The 60 miler is marked with blue arrows, and the 32 miler is marked with red arrows. Um, I'll kind of explain that a little bit more here in a second when I walk through the courses with you. All right, so let me go over here to the courses. So the full course here is, like I said, it's about 62 miles. Ride with GPS is just a tiny bit off. They're way off on the elevation gain. It's like 6,300 feet of climbing. I mean, I don't know how Ride with GPS is so far off, but in any case, on this map, the blue is gravel, the red is paved. Okay, this point here is where the course is different from last year. So if you did the course last year, there's actually two sections that are different. The section after Handy Mountain, in order to keep us off of 103, which is a fairly busy road, we're taking a little bit of a detour there. So just again, follow the arrows and update the GPS track that you've got for this year, just to make sure that you don't miss that turn or whatever. It includes a little bit of a hefty climb. You can see here on the elevation profile. It's an addition. It's an addition. But the out and back on Kibler, you could always skip this. Like if you get over here to Ararat Highway and it's like you're hurting, you can skip this out and back on Kibler. But the rest station is all the way out here at the very end of Kibler, and it is a gorgeous road. If you've never ridden it before, it's right along the Dan River, and it's oh my goodness, it's beautiful. One of my favorite roads that I've ever ridden. Um, and then so obviously lots of climbing, pretty tough. Just be mindful that these roads are not closed. There's no course marshals, so make sure that you're stopping at stop signs. Make sure that you're riding to the right, even when we're on gravel roads. Handy Mountain and Kibler both have a lot of blind corners, and Kibler, especially on Saturday, sometimes it won't be busy, but you'll see some cars on it. So definitely don't be riding left to center. Treat it just like you would a normal paved road, just to be safe. Because like I said, there's a lot of tight corners that you're going around, so you don't want to run up on a car. The the short course is still super fun and it is still a pretty burly course. It's 32 miles and Ride with GPS is about 1,000 feet off. It's saying 2,800 feet. I rode this a couple of weeks ago and it's every bit of 3,800 feet. So if you decide to go with this route, you're still going to be getting in a pretty good ride. Like I said before, the short course, what you're going to do at the beginning, you're going to follow the blue arrows. So you follow the blue arrows like you're going to do the full course, okay? And then once you get down here to the very bottom of Handy Mountain, it's a big, long gravel descent. Down at the bottom there, there's going to be a split, and it's going to be marked then from there with red arrows. So you'll follow the red arrows to make it back to the mill in the shortest distance. You follow the blue arrows to do the full course. So I didn't require you guys to like tell me which one you're going to do. You just go out and do it. And if you want to do the long one, awesome. If you want to do the short one, that's awesome too. Either way is cool. There's a good section of gravel here towards the end of this one, but just be mindful. There's a lot of times there's goats in the road. And no, I'm not kidding. There may be goats in the road. I've ridden the road a few times, and the goats, I don't know. They just get out or whatever, or the people just let them roam. But in any case, there'll be goats in the road, so you don't be surprised if you run up on like a whole bunch of goats. You're gonna be climbing right where you go past the farms. You're gonna be going fast, but it's just always a shocker. No matter how many times I see the goats in the road, it's just like, what in the world? Um, so yeah, same deal. Just make sure that you are mindful of traffic, following the traffic laws, that kind of thing. Okay. Um, so after you get back, obviously there's bathrooms, showers if you want to decide you want to shower, that kind of thing. We'll have barbecue and green beans and let's see, chips and coleslaw. And I think my wife is going to make some delicious homemade pumpkin bread, which is I'm like super pumped for. So in any case, we'll have some good food for you and some beer when you guys get back, and a nice bonfire. It looks like it's going to be pretty chilly, especially at the start, like low 40s. So just be mindful of the weather. Some of these deep valleys you'll be in, starting at the mill, it's going to be cold, cold at the mill. So just kind of be mindful of that. So I look forward to seeing all you guys on Saturday. I hope you guys have a great time with this, and I'll see you on Saturday morning.